Hello, I am Jorge Sánchez, veterinary doctor from the University of Applied Environmental Sciences UDCA. I specialized in veterinary dermatology and I am currently a master in veterinary allergology. In the previous program I explained the theoretical part of the prick test. In this patient previously diagnosed, prepared and stable to do the test, we are going to develop it. We have already loaded the battery of allergens and now we are going to start developing it. The first thing we are going to do is to choose the side of the area to do the test. I do not know if it is on the right or left side. We are going to look at it. We should always find in the costal grid, in this piece where the allergic reactions can occur much faster. Then we look for an area where there are no crusts, erythema, that is not dirty, that is not the nest, that has a much lighter color. Then this side is darker than it is. Then we are going to use this piece. We are going to wax a good window between 10 and 12 centimeters. Then we are going to perform it. So, we are left in this depilate area and we are going to start placing the reference points. We are going to start placing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. The negative control and the positive control. It looks like a trica. Then the tray is loaded and identified. The prick is placed last. The positive control. Another very important thing to do is not to learn the order of the allergens, so we do not have predisposition to be the allergy. Ready? Then we place positive control, negative control, and we start placing them. Then, we spread the lancet. We look at the lancet that has its double tip and we start from right to left. The technique does not matter if it is from right to left, but I always do it from right to left. We place a notch above and a notch below. We discard the lancet and we place it again. One, 2, 3, 4, 1 notch up, 1 notch down. 5, 6, 7, 1 notch up, 1 notch down. 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. The other spaces are going to be used for the patch test, that is why I marked them and left them there. Finally, we place the tests, the negative and the positive control, which is histamine. This is the only control that has or has to be positive. We wait 15 to 20 minutes to see the result. Well, after 14 minutes we started to see inflammatory reactions in the positive test. The positive test is this one that we found here, which is histamine. That tells us that the test is valid. We found that it works in the test, that the patient is ready to be able to do it. Minutes later we found reactions in point 8 and in point 10, the one that generated the most inflammation. The one that generated the most inflammation, more will upwards, was point 8, less in point 10. Looking at the tray, point 8 is flea saliva. We found that this girl is allergic to flea, yes. And we also found a reaction to common grass. But of the two we have to make a determination because we have to do an immunotherapy. In this case, what is the immunotherapy? We have already identified the allergen, whether it is allergic to fleas, then we have two ways. One, we treat the fleas very well, in it we put an anti-flea, which I will tell you about in a following program, which is a long-acting oral anti-flea. It will help us to control the environment. But she also has siblings cats in the house. So it is much more complicated. There will always be a flea present in the house. So it will cause her to have a reaction. The flea does not necessarily have to climb up and bite and live on her. It just has to climb up, walk around, and as she has flea control she will die, okay? The other way we have to control this type of process is by doing an immunotherapy, allergen-specific. It is called immunotherapy because we are going to teach her to start reacting more generously to the allergen. That is, if she used to tear her hands apart, tear the back of her hips, lick herself a lot, pull out her hair and her skin became inflamed, we are going to teach her with the immune system that it should not be so strong. We are going to give him allergen concentrates, very well standardized in a subcutaneous and progressive way. We are going to start progressively until reaching a status that is more or less in the 4th or 5th month, and then the concentration of the allergen is stabilized. Why? So that the immune system itself recognizes it as something natural, so that it does not become so inflamed. In her case we also found an allergen that is to grasses, that is to say, to grass, to common meadow. She goes out to make shishi in the meadow, she goes out to do her needs in the meadow, and then we will not be able to eliminate it, but it is a minor reaction to the fleas. So we are going to give her an immunotherapy to the fleas, and we will see in the future how she behaves, if we need to make an immunotherapy for common meadow. Another thing to keep in mind is that starting to do the immunotherapy there are going to be 3 months in which the owners, the parents of the child, are going to hate me a lot. Because in those first 3 months where I am going to start placing the allergen in a more concentrated way, in an ascending way, she is going to manifest more allergic reactions. That is, she is going to bite more, she is going to scratch more, she is going to have more nasal discharges, she is going to have more. That is good for the process. That is, we know that immunotherapy is specific, that is why it is called allergen-specific immunotherapy. It is a specific allergen that will change the immune system, but it is bad for her because she will manifest itching. So if the itching is so intense we will be able to use a medicine such as an interleukin-31 inhibitor, which is oclacitinib, so that she can take it while she is going through it. What is the idea? You will say, but if she is going to scratch again and keep on scratching, why do we do the immunotherapy? The idea is that after 1 year, if she is going to scratch and the use of medications is not going to be the same anymore, right? If she is going to scratch, from 1 week she was scratching 7 days, she is going to scratch 2 days. If we are going to need 5 medicines we are only going to use 1 medicine. If we are going to have to bathe her every week we will be able to bathe her between 20 and 30 days. It has many advantages in the future. It works very well. Immunotherapy has very good results. But it is a process that must be done in a long time, with judicious families who understand the process. This vaccine is not for everybody, not everybody can handle it because we need certain type of very specific processes. Thank you very much. I hope it has been clear to you how is the identification of allergens and what can be done with our allergic patient. I am Jorge Sánchez and I invite you to visit me on my social networks and I wait for you here in the dermatological office Jorge Sánchez.